Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled in the shadow of towering mountains, there lived a man named Kian. Known throughout the land as the strongest man in the village, Kian's strength wasn't just legendary, it was the stuff of stories told to children by their parents at bedtime. Kian was not always a giant among men. As a boy, he was small and frail, often ridiculed by other children. But what he lacked in size, he made up for in determination. Kian's father, a humble blacksmith, told him one thing that stuck with him: strength isn't just in the body, it's in the heart and mind. Inspired, Kian began to train. Every morning, he would rise before the sun, hauling buckets of water from the well uphill to his home. Each trip, he would carry more than before. Soon, he began lifting stones from the fields, starting with those no larger than his fist. Over the years, the stones grew bigger, until they became boulders that only Kian could move. As Kian grew into a man, his reputation for strength spread. He was the one people called upon to raise a barn, pull a cart out of a ditch, or carry injured livestock. But one event cemented his place as a legend. One summer, a terrible storm swept through the village. The river swelled and threatened to wash away a critical bridge that connected the village to the outside world. Without it, the villagers would be cut off from trade and supplies. When the storm passed, the villagers gathered to find the bridge partially collapsed. A massive oak tree had fallen across it, pinning the structure down and threatening to tear it apart with the next flood. The elders called for help, but everyone doubted it could be saved. That's when Kian stepped forward. "I'll move the tree," he said simply. The villagers laughed. The oak was immense, and it would take a team of oxen to even budge it. But Kian ignored their doubts. He wrapped his calloused hands around the trunk, his muscles straining like steel cables. With a deep roar, he lifted one end of the tree clear off the bridge. The crowd gasped in disbelief as he dragged the tree inch by inch until it was off the bridge and safely onto the riverbank. The village erupted in cheers. From that day on, Kian was no longer just a strong man, he was a hero. They honored him with a feast, where the elder declared, "Kian, you are not just the strongest among us, you are the heart of our village." Kian humbly smiled. He knew his strength came not just from lifting stones and trees but from the love and support of his people, and his unyielding determination to protect them. And so, the legend of Kian, the strongest man in the village, was told for generations to come.